Welcome everybody to our summer nutrition webinar. We are super excited to see so many folks on the webinar today. So Kirsten, if you want to go to the next slide. So we're going to start just by introducing your facilitators from the Full Plates team. So my name is Chelsea Marshall. My pronouns are she, her. I am the program manager, and I focus heavily on summer and out of school time meals. And I will turn it over to Finn so they can introduce themselves.
Hey everyone, my name's Finn, they, them, and I'm the grants manager with Full Plates.
Hi everyone, I am Kirsten. I am the community engagement manager with Full Plates, and I focus a lot of my time on the Sunbucks program, the summer EBT program.
All right, so next slide, Kirsten. So we are super excited that we could have all of you join us today. So we're just going to go over briefly our agenda for today and some housekeeping. So as we get started, if folks want to engage in the chat, if you'd like to drop which district or organization that you represent, and if you're feeling it today, what excites you about summer meals? So if you would like to share that in the chat, we invite you to do so. Just some housekeeping for today's webinar. We expect this to run approximately 60 minutes today. That we ask that folks stay on mute for the beginning part of the webinar, but when we get to the question and answer portion, if folks are more comfortable asking questions off mute, you can do that. Also, as we go along, feel free if you have questions that come up for you to drop them kind of into the chat as our presenters speak, and then we'll get those to the appropriate presenters at the end so that they can answer those questions for you. We're also going to send a follow-up email tomorrow to all of our registrants for the webinar today that will have all of the slides and resources that we share today included with you for your reference. And also, if there's any questions that we don't get to in the question and answer portion, we will make sure to get them to the appropriate presenter and get those questions back to you in a timely manner. So we are going to kick it off with our first presenter today. Our first presenter is Adrienne Ackroyd. She is the Summer Food Service Program Manager for the Maine Department of Education Child Nutrition. She has nearly a decade of experience working in public health nutrition in Maine and is a registered dietitian nutritionist. Adrienne's passionate about expanding the USDA child nutrition programs to ensure that every child in Maine receives the nutrition they need to thrive. And in her free time, Adrienne loves spending time outdoors with her husband and son and cuddling with her two gray tuxedo cats. So I would love to invite Adrienne to come on camera and share about the Sun Meals program. Welcome, Adrienne.
Thank you so much, Chelsea. So I am really excited to be here in my new old role as the Maine Department of Education Child Nutrition Program Sun Meals, or Summer Food Service Program Manager for Maine DOE. I am extremely passionate about this program. That includes, everything from Sun Meals to Go, and Sunbucks. And I'm excited to talk to you more about this today. Next slide, please. So as a quick reminder, the program purpose of the USDA Summer Food Service Program, which is also called Sun Meals, is to make sure that children who rely on nutritious meals during the school year can continue to receive that nutrition in the summer months when school's not in session. The Summer Food Service Program is a federally funded, state-administered program, and the Summer Food Service Program reimburses program operators who serve complimentary healthy meals and snacks to children and teens in areas of need. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned, USDA has rebranded the Summer Food Service Program as Sun Meal. So there are three different branches of this. There's the Sun Meal Program, which is in-person summer meal sites, group summer meal service. This was the traditional method the program operated prior to the COVID-19 pandemic. So 2019 and before, it was a congregate meal service program with very limited allowability for meals to go. And so what we saw is during the pandemic, the summer food service program was kicked in to make sure that during a time when students were learning remotely, they had access to meals. And the summer food service program is the program that typically takes place when there is a long-term unanticipated school closure or a break in school. So that program kicked in during the COVID-19 pandemic. And with that came the summer food service program non-congregate option to make sure that kids could receive the meals when they were learning remotely and still have access to the nutrition that they relied on during the school year. So through that and all the lessons learned, USDA developed a permanent non-congregate summer food service program that operates in rural areas called Sun Meals to Go. And these are to go or pickup or home delivered meals in certain rural areas that qualify for the program. And then, of course, the third branch of the Sun Meals suite is Sunbucks. And I'm really happy that I have a colleague here, Madison Morton, who will talk more about the Sunbucks program. Next slide, please. So just a few updates, just some high-level updates about the summer food service program this year is we opened our application this week for Sun Meals. It's through our CNP web application that the state manages. And our training for potential new sponsors is April 30th, 2026 in Augusta. That is at capacity or nearing capacity, although we might have some flexibility for new sponsors. But we are, really looking at April is the month to get new sponsors on board if sponsors do want to come join our program. So if you know of any sponsors who are interested, now's the time to join before we're unable to properly onboard. And so I set up my email address here. You can email adrian.ackroyd@maine.gov to get more information or if there's any questions that are answered today. And then I just wanted to mention one of the big pieces of news that we have is that due to our expanded what we call direct certification list, and that is a list of households who are automatically enrolled or eligible for free or reduced priced meals. We have a very large opportunity for expansion. I believe over 100 schools were added to the eligibility list for the summer food service program in Maine because of the expansion that we saw on the DC list. So we have a huge opportunity this summer to bring more schools on board because of expanded eligibility, which is really exciting. Next slide, please. And so I just one more time want to mention that we are available for questions and support. You can reach out to myself or my colleague, Kate. We can answer any questions you have. And then I just would like to have one more reminder that if participants are participating in Sunbucks, that doesn't mean they can't participate in Sun Meals. They can participate in both programs. So please be sure to make sure people feel comfortable participating. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Adrian. Great information. With that, we'll turn it over to Kirsten.
Awesome. So next up, we have Madison, who works. Madison is the SNAP outreach planner for the Office of Family Independence. She has worked to support food access in Maine for the last 9 years and has been especially passionate about promoting Maine's local food system. With a background in farmers markets and nutrition education, she's excited to continue to work to promote food access programs across the state. So take it away, Madison.
Thank you, Kirsten. Hi, everyone. I'm Madison. I'm the SNAP Outreach Planner for the Office of Family Independence at DHHS, and I'm really excited to talk about Sunbucks today. And Adrian did a great job of queuing me up perfectly. Next slide, please. So for those who are not familiar, Sunbucks is a summer grocery benefit for kids that can help pay for groceries while school is out. Families will receive a one-time EBT benefit of $120 for each child who qualifies. Unlike other EBT benefits, most eligible children will actually be automatically enrolled in the program and won't have to apply. Because many families will be receiving these benefits without ever applying for them, we're focused on trying to increase awareness about the program so that families know it's real, and when they get a letter in the mail how to use their Sunbucks benefit. Next slide. Kids will automatically be enrolled in Sunbucks based on their participation in other programs. This includes kids who are individually certified for free reduced price meal benefits through their school, or age 6 to 16 and a part of a household that already participates in SNAP, FDPIR, TANF, Main Care at 185% FPL, or identified as a foster, homeless, or migrant by OFI or OCFS. I know a lot of acronyms. Letters are going out now to families who have already been automatically enrolled. If a child is not automatically enrolled, they are still eligible to receive Sunbucks and should consider applying if they are enrolled in school or Head Start program, participating in the National School Lunch Program, and a part of a household that meets the requirements for free reduced price meal benefits. We recommend that families wait to see if they get letters in the mail before applying, but they can apply anytime before August 15th. Next slide. Families receive their Sunbucks in a couple of different ways. If they already get SNAP or PEBT or Sunbucks previously, Sunbucks gets loaded right onto the existing Pine Tree card. For kids who did not get SNAP or have not received Sunbucks or PEBT previously, they will be issued a new Pine Tree card. New cards will be sent to the mailing address on file, so it's really important that families ensure that their mailing addresses are up to date with OFI and their school. They can call OFI anytime to update their mailing address. They can also call this number if they lost their card from maybe a previous year and need a replacement, or if they want to check the balance on their card. If they're not sure they got a letter, they can call this number as well and see if the balance is loaded. Next slide. Here's a gentle overview of the timeline for Sunbucks. The application for Sunbucks is currently live on MyMain Connection, and anyone can apply. They just don't receive benefits until June. Letters have already gone out, and automatically enrolled kids have been alerted that they will get Sunbucks this summer. In mid-May, Pine Tree cards for kids without existing cards will also go out, but they do not get loaded until June. In early June, benefits get issued. Families can continue to apply for Sunbucks until August 15th. So just because we have an issuance does not mean that they are out. In October, benefits landed in June start to get expunged. So we have 122 days to use the benefits, and we really encourage families to use their benefits over the summer months. Next slide. Sunbucks can be used to buy groceries, including fruits, vegetables, meat, poultry, fish, dairy products, breads, and grains. So same as a regular SNAP card. Fun fact, it can also be used to buy seeds and plants that produce food for a household to eat. I also really encourage folks to check out the Maine Harvest Bucks program and the Farm Fresh Rewards programs, which can boost the Sunbucks benefit like SNAP when shopping and participating at farmers markets, farm stands, co-ops, and local grocery stores. Each website, which you can use the QR code to scan here, each website has a list of the participating locations, and there are some across all Maine. Next slide. So my key takeaway that I would really like to leave you with today is if you are working with families or kids who might be eligible for Sunbucks, please tell them to keep an eye on the mail. Letters are going out. Cards will be mailed to families without a card, and benefits will land in early June. A lot of times we want you to wait to apply to see if you get a letter or see if your card gets loaded up first before you start calling, just because most people who already qualify are already enrolled. The letters to the families will tell them when they can receive their benefits. For households who didn't get a letter but think they might be eligible, apply via MyMain Connection. It is also really important to let the families know that Sunbucks benefits do expire and encourage the use of the benefits over summer months. Next slide. So, help get the word out if you can. We're working to increase awareness of this really awesome program. We want people to know what to expect and how to use their Sunbucks when they get it. We're expecting over 110,000 kids to receive Sunbucks this year. Last year, we saw around a 70% rate of kids who use their benefits, and we're trying to increase that number every year. We have an outreach toolkit and another one coming out soon, but as of right now, we still have plenty of stuff on our website with links to flyers, informational materials, translated copies, social media posts, Please share these flyers with your networks and post them anywhere families see them. We're really just trying to get the word out about how great Sunbucks is. And the last slide is a QR code to our website. Feel free to go there for any more information. And if there's any questions, my email is right there, and I'm more than happy to hear from you and help you. Thank you, Kirsten.
Thank you, Madison. Yeah, I'm excited you were here today, and I think this is a great group to share Sunbucks with, and I'd like to see the 70 go to like maybe 80 or 90 or something crazy like 100. So that'd be really cool. Thank you. All right. I think I'm still talking, so I'm going to keep going. So first up to share today is Mia Charette. So Mia is the food services coordinator for the Millinocket School Department. This small district offers nutrition services at 2 schools and operates a summer food service program for Millinocket and the surrounding communities. She is in her 5th year of working in school nutrition. Mia is committed to improving the quality of school meals through scratch cooking and creating a program that openly values the important work done by school nutrition professionals. In her time away from work, Mia enjoys all things crafty, gardening, and camping with her family. Her summer meal program has seen significant growth over the last 4 years. Breakfast participation increased by 1,152%. And lunch participation has increased by 184%. And so I'm just going to like take a second to let those numbers settle in for folks because that's really incredible. These changes result from a combination of transitioning to non-congregate meals, introducing new lunch options, and increased communications with community partners. So I am going to pass it over to you, Mia.
Sure. Thank you, Kristen. Like she had said, we are just a small school, but we do operate 8 sites in our local Tri-Town region. So we are the only school that offers sun meals during the summer. So we work with our community partners, our rec department, our local library. We have multiple camps that take advantage of our services. And, we do provide meals for summer school programs in our area. So we stretch well beyond our Millinocket boundaries to really meet the need in the communities that are not quite ready to take on this program themselves.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mia, for sharing.
Sure.
So we're going to kind of introduce your counterpart today. So I'll be introducing Katie McDonald. So Katie is the director of Healthy Lincoln County, where she keeps the summer meals program running year-round and leads the team that delivers it each summer. This is her 2nd summer running one of Maine's biggest programs, serving the highest number of meal sites in the state. Katie is a devoted dog foster mom, currently hosting a very large Rottweiler, and unwinds with snarky cross-stitch DIY projects in time outdoors. So welcome, Katie, and I would love for you to just kind of walk us through what's going on with Healthy Lincoln County. And Kirsten, can you go to the next slide? Thank you.
Beautiful. Thanks so much. And he may make an appearance at some point. The little dog has been quite sassy today. So again, I'm Katie McDonald, the director of Healthy Lincoln County, right on cue. We do a mix of some substance use prevention, some youth engagement work, and some food security and access work. I think we are unique in that we are a nonprofit rather than a school district. But Lincoln County is a very rural area, and having a centralized model works really well for us. As we said earlier, HLC has the largest number of sites, so we don't serve the largest number of kiddos. But depending on the summer, we're between like 15 and I think I looked last summer, we did like 25 with some of our add-on sites. So we are quite busy. We have been running the program since about 2010, I believe. And summers have ranged from 5,000 meals to 30,000 meals. And in the last 5 years, we've averaged about 20,000 meals per summer. And all of these, the last couple of years, all of these meals have been prepared out of one kitchen with 2 cooks, who are the heroes, and they have been on since the very beginning of the program. We have a handful of closed sites, and we also run a mobile delivery route with Lulu, who you can see on that slide in the bottom right corner, our yellow van with fruits on the side of it. And we rely heavily on volunteers to make this all possible, as well as Lulu and many community partners. And we are kind of always balancing how far we can stretch all of the administrative side of things while also maintaining the reach and being able to connect to areas in our county that we know are in need. This document I shared was just kind of, we do like an annual report at the end of every summer. Thank you very much. And then we have Lulu with a couple of our volunteers. And then this is our schedule for the summer, and it probably will come up a couple times in a couple of the prompts. But yeah, there's a lot of moving pieces for us. And I feel much more prepared to talk about it with a full summer under my belt. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing, Katie. All right, so Kirsten, if you could take the slides down, we're going to go into just some questions for both Katie and Mia today. And I believe, Kirsten, you've got the question number 2.
So, Katie, you mentioned it a little bit. So, doing a little reflection on relationships with local partners to implement the programs. We're wondering if you might be able to share a little bit more about your partnership with the Lincoln County Sheriff's Department or Sheriff's
Sure.
Office.
Yeah. So we are very fortunate that our sheriff's department is very involved. And so typically we run our mobile site Monday through Thursday. And the past couple of summers, they have committed one of their deputies to be on the route. So also driving the big van, because not all volunteers love to drive a big van like that. It's very it's an interesting vehicle to try to maneuver. But actually this summer we've just learned that they're going to commit 2 deputies. So we will have a deputy on every day, driving the van every day, which will make managing volunteers a little bit easier. So not only are they there committing their time to being, a regular face that shows up for youth, but they also do some of their own programs. So they have a backpack program that they run as we come into August. And so this is a way that they're able to distribute some of those backpacks. So making sure that all of the summer meals on the mobile route, especially kids, are walking away with a backpack and ready for the school year. And that's a lovely model and ways that we're trying to think about how we could bring in other partners to do that kind of work around summer meals.
Thanks, Katie. That's awesome. Mia, would you be able to share a little bit more about your partnership with the Parks and Rec department in your community?
Sure thing. Sorry about my phone there. So we work quite closely with our local rec departments. Each town now has their own. It used to be combined, so it used to be the tri-town rec department, but now they have all moved into individual programs. So I work with the 3 different rec directors, and we provide all of the meals. We make the meals here in our central kitchen with our base staff, and then deliver them out to the local rec departments. So we have like a public beach in Medway, and then Millinocket and East Millinocket both have town pools. They're very lucky. Most rural communities do not have nice congregating spaces like we've been fortunate to have here. They are also very much passionate about closing this hunger gap during the summer. They are providing all of the staff to, do accountability, making sure, the spaces are maintained. So we make the meals and deliver the meals, and the rec departments completely take over from there. We would definitely not be able to serve the quantity of meals that we have if we had to rely on our staff alone to make sure that these go into the hands of our kids in our area. So I make frequent visits to all of our sites, really checking in with these rec departments pretty frequently because we don't want them to ever stop wanting to do this with us. and so they know the value. Everybody sees and knows the value, and I scream it from the rooftops if I have to, so that everybody continues to know.
That's awesome. Two of my favorite things, feeding kids in the summer and getting them outside in the summer. So it's a perfect partnership.
It is. It's awesome.
All right, the next question I have, Mia, this question is also for you. And your program has experienced tremendous growth. And you touched on this a little bit with your partnership with Park and Rec, but can you kind of share what contributed to that growth of your program? But you're on mute.
No, not necessarily new here, but not great at it. So we did not serve a large amount of people at breakfast time, so we really opened up our breakfast service. One of our sites went to a non-congregate service, and they went from serving 10 meals a day, just 10 lunches, maybe squeaking out 10 lunches a day, to doing 44 to 66 breakfasts in the same amount of lunches every single day. So that was a huge jump. Working with our schools to do the summer school program, and we've also added on some smaller kind of camps and other community programs that take advantage of the program during the summer. We took a hard look at our menu to see kind of what we were serving, what the kids were eating, what the kids were putting in the garbage, and really took a look at our packaging. Nobody really wants a wet, sweaty paper bag lunch. So we really revised that kind of from a customer service kind of perspective. And I think all of those things combined kind of really sent us in the right direction.
Thank you so much for sharing those best
Sure.
practices, Mia. We love to see it, and we love to see the growth of your program. So Kirsten, next question is yours.
All right. So this question is for both of you. How do you go about getting the word out to the families in your community about your summer meal sites and your programming?
So we always send out flyers and announcements before summer schools, summer starts, while the kids are still in school, so that we know that they're getting the information as well as you can trust any child to get any paper out of their bag. You know how that goes. So we make sure we start at the school before summer program ever starts. Getting on if you have a local radio station, TV station, their community calendar is a great way. It's usually free and fairly passive. People hear about it whether they want to hear about it or not. We post a lot of flyers around all 3 towns in the most public places you could possibly see, the little convenience stores and mom and pop shops in the post office, and just make sure they're colorful and bright and attractive. And our community partners are great advocates for our program. They advertise heavily within their, rec department flyers. The library is, really on board with meeting the needs of our community in as many ways as possible. So that's pretty much how we roll about, social media, of course, and then we, put it in the paper as well. But that's pretty much how we do that.
So I can add on to that. We do a lot of the same, again, of really relying on our partners to get that word out. The other thing that we've consciously decided to do is we take out a big color ad in our local newspaper. We know that local paper is very well read. And we also know that not all families have access to printers or internet in our area. So we really try to make usually a very large, and that's why you see that colorful kind of map of when we're serving. And so we really try to intentionally start the summer with that so people can cut that out, have that on their fridge. And that was just something we've learned over time works for our kind of community.
So thank you both.
We have one final question for you for this part of the panel discussion. And this is Katie, both for you and Mia for you. And that is, if you could share one piece of advice with other summer operators, what would that piece of advice be?
Mine would be to really invest in the relationships you build with your community partners. Make sure you're helping to meet their needs, supporting them if things are not going well, if they are going well, not popping in just to see what's going wrong, popping in to say hi and make sure they have everything they need. Investing in people will always bring you success in almost anything that you do. So just really invest in your partners, invest in the volunteers, and invest in your personal staff. We've had a great returning staff year after year, and being able to offer them summer work, I think really helps to pull them through to the fall. So just invest in the people, invest in the kids, invest in all the things.
I have two kind of competing thoughts. The first for me is, especially as someone who was kind of new to the program, was being transparent and honest with all of our sites and partners, of just really trying to lay out what we know, what we don't know, and how we're kind of planning to move forward. We also tried a new thing this fall, and we pulled together all of our partners for an in-person meeting. And I think that has shifted all of the relationships and how we're moving forward now. We've been trying to do some more digital meetings, but there was extreme value of having everyone in the same space, even just shortly. And we were able to troubleshoot some issues and kind of have some conversations that I think a lot of people have been having individually, but kind of gave us an avenue for everyone to be heard.
Those are both excellent pieces of advice. So thank you so much, Mia and Katie, for sharing. So this kind of wraps up our panel part, but Mia and Katie will be hanging around till the end. So if you have questions for them, we'll have an opportunity to ask at the end. So Kirsten, can you go ahead and pull the slides back up? And it is my honor to introduce Finn, our grants manager, and they're going to explain a little bit about the Full Plates Summer Meals Grant. So take it away, Finn.
Awesome. Thanks, Chelsea. Although everyone else got a nice, cute little fun fact intro. So I will offer one, which is, like Katie, I'm also a foster dog parent. I have a little guy named Frankie who is real shaggy these days, and sometimes I have to give him little eyebrow haircuts. Okay, so Summer Meals Grant. Full Plates offers a Summer Meals Grant every year to support meal programs. It is currently open. It opened on March 23rd and closes next Friday, April 10th. So applications are due at the very end of the day on the 10th. Grants range from $500 to $10,000. I'll put the link in here for the web page that has a lot more info. And you can read more about eligibility. There are a lot of resources like the link to apply, a list of application questions, budget templates, examples of supplies and equipment that you can purchase, the scoring rubric, and more. But just kind of a quick overview is that applicants can be summer food service program sponsors. They could be community organizations that are serving meals to meet a clear community need, or they can be partner organizations that are directly supporting a meal program. And again, the rubric is on our website, but we have a team of about 15 reviewers who helps score every application, and we have a meeting to make collective funding decisions. And so that's based on your application. And then part of that process is we also will be prioritizing approved SFSB sponsors, prioritizing people who have not received this grant in the past, but we will still accept applications if you have gotten it before. And then also prioritizing programs that are expanding to reach more kids. So creating new sites, opening new sites, adding non-congregate, things like that. Next slide, Kirsten. All right, and then just some examples of what you could use this grant for. Some allowable expenses include marketing and outreach, equipment and supplies, costs related to transportation, food that is used in taste tests, menu samples, or recipe development, or short-term staffing costs. And this can be things like startup staffing cost if you're opening a new site or adding a new model of service. It could be additional hours to plan and implement taste tests or other enrichment activities. It could be compensation for staff to attend trainings, or any kind of fees associated with professional development. So those are just some examples. The two things that you cannot use our grant for are food that is served directly for consumption in a reimbursable meal, or ongoing base staffing costs to operate a federal child nutrition program. And if you have questions and you're filling this out, please just reach out to me and I'm happy to help clarify this or talk through anything. And next slide. Okay, and then the last thing is just a little teaser that we are also offering a mini grant that opens at the end of June, specific to summer spike events. So these are community events that just kind of help raise awareness and participation and let kids and families know, hey, reminder that this is how you can get meals this summer. And this will be a really simple application, a much smaller grant, just up to $500. Opens late June. We'll send out an email about it and it'll be on our website. And it'll just be a rolling application. So you can apply anytime through the end of July. And I think that's what I've got for grant.
Thank you, Finn, so much for sharing. So the last kind of two things that we're going to touch base on today is just some available resources. So on our Full Plates website, we have updated our summer landing page for this year to include some new resources. So we have a data sharing template that was created by our child nutrition consultants. We have a budgeting tool that was created by No Kid Hungry. And then we also have some success stories from summer sponsors last year. So that's all been updated. It's a great resource, whether you're a new sponsor, an existing sponsor, or a community partner to summer meals. Next slide, please. And we also wanted to take this opportunity to plug our out of school time meals work group, which is facilitated by Kirsten and myself. This is a virtual space for sharing in community, sharing ideas and challenges and resources for our out of school time space meal operators. We divide this up throughout the year by program. So typically October through January, we are focusing on the CACFP at-risk after-school program and after-school meals. And then come February, we transition to summer meals. So we focus on our sun meals providers February through September. Just a note, we don't meet in August. We want everybody to get out and enjoy that Maine sunshine and warm weather while they can. And group members are welcome to join year-round for both topics, or you can drop in where it's more applicable to your program. We typically have a theme each month, so you are welcome to join. The bottom QR code is the sign-up form, so if you're not already receiving those invites from Kirsten and I, you can sign up there. The other resource I'd like to kind of direct you towards is our implementation calendar. So Full Plates program team also hosts school nutrition meetups throughout the year in different areas of the state. And then we also maintain an implementation calendar that has different trainings and webinars highlighted by both our state and national partners. So that's always a good resource to check out. And I will make sure when we send out the follow-up that everything that has the QR codes attached, that we send them in a link so that they are accessible to everybody who registered for the webinar today. So we're going to go to the next slide. So now this is our question and answer period. So we invite any participants on here If you have questions for DOE, for Adrian, regarding Sunbucks for Madison, you have questions for Katie and Mia about their programs, or you have questions for Finn about our summer meals grant, we welcome you. You can either come off mute and ask them, or you can pop them in the chat and we will direct them to the proper panelist.
I have a question for Mia. You said you took a hard look at like your menus, what kids like, didn't like what maybe some of your best sellers were. Do you mind sharing what a few of those meals might be?
Sure. First thing we did was stop putting broccoli in the meals for the most part. Because we were throwing away a whole lot of broccoli, unfortunately. The kind of like Lunchable type snack packs were our really big hit. Probably the pizza snack pack is the biggest hit. They love the nacho snack pack. But you know, we'll do like a turkey and cheese flatbread or a ham and cheese sub, not just a regular sandwich. So just trying to switch it up a little bit. Believe it or not, they love it when we add lettuce to the sandwiches. I don't know if it looks a little bit more like it came from the store or a restaurant or something. But they really love the flatbreads, especially in any form that you can give it to them. They're a big fan. So just kind of keeping it simple. But definitely take a look in your garbage cans. That's the big one. They're not super hot on celery either, but so we do, you know, occasionally put in a broccoli or celery, but not very often. We try to stick to the things that they eat more frequently.
Yeah. I know they love cucumbers, or our kiddos love cucumbers.
Love cucumbers, love the carrots. You know, we'll put snap peas in sometimes. I love those.
Yep.
And trying to get some of the things in there that don't always hold the best. So looking at packaging, like so kiwis or sliced fruits and things like that that don't always hold well. But trying to incorporate, you know, fresh strawberries here and there or some blueberries, things like that. They really love those special treats. And now that the packaging is a bit better, they can see what's inside the meal kits. So it's not just like a mystery bag anymore, which is really nice.
What do you use? Like we have some plastic that are like a 4-compartment type container. Is that kind of, and we have some tinfoil ones where they have like an aluminum top so you can't see what's in them.
Right, yeah. We had initially started with like that 4-compartment snack pack, but they're really, really, really expensive. So that wasn't really feasible for us to continue to use them. And it is a ton of plastic too, which my major loving heart does not love so much. But we're kind of forced in that direction sometimes. But we do just portion cups.
Oh, okay.
Lid, you know, and pack the bag in such a way that it's pretty stable in there. It's just, I think they're like a 6x13 poly bag.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Kind of looks like a bread bag.
Yep.
Kind of tie up the top. So it gives you a good amount of space to kind of stack it up linear. And we did start to use a sandwich wedge for the regular sandwiches. Because they do get in the coolers. And we haven't found a way to move away from coolers. So they get mooshed in there and nobody wants a mushy sandwich, unfortunately. So that's another plastic piece too, but we want them to want to eat it. That was, I guess, the biggest piece.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, that was a great question, Melinda. And thank you, Mia, for answering. We had one come in through the chat, and this could go to any of our folks. And this is, what are your tips, or are there any tips for increasing teen engagement with summer meals?
I think you have to find out where they are. like, where are the teenagers? Are they congregating anywhere? Or are they holed up in somebody's basement? Like, where are the teenagers spending their time? We're fortunate because we have the pools, so there's a big draw for teenagers, and it's a big employment for our teenagers as well. But I don't have any really great ideas other than trying to find out where they're at.
Thanks, Mia. That's a really wonderful point. A success story here in Maine with going to where the teens are at is the Game Loft in Belfast. And so they've been a summer food service program sponsor and after school meal sponsor for a long time now. And they were a store where teens would often congregate to do card games, board games, live action role playing games, Dungeons and Dragons and things of this nature. And through the kids that were going there on a regular basis, the owners of the store realized that they were hungry and they needed access to meals. And so the store actually became a nonprofit to provide more services to teenagers in the Belfast area. And they started doing the summer food service program and CACFP at risk. So that's a really good success story of going to where the teens are. And, I don't know how many gaming shops are in Maine that may meet the SFSP requirements, but that's a really innovative way to think about things.
I would love to plug one other success story from another one of our after school partners who has a teen center. And so he leveraged the teens that he had at his center to go out and engage with their peers, to bring their peers back with them. And so I think that really helped to benefit his program because, of course, when it comes from your peer, you're more likely to engage with the idea of it. And so that helped to boost him. But he gave them kind of this mission, like go out and see what the teens want and bring your friends with you and stuff like that. So I think that really worked well for him too. So leveraging the young people that you do have kicking around and having them bring a friend along too.
We accidentally ended up engaging some teens last summer when we had our kitchen moved and we were kind of figuring out where all of our sites were going to be, and ended up using the middle school as one of our like open locations. And a lot of kids knew the cook because she had worked in other schools. And so like she was a big personality. So we thought maybe she was going to do a few meals a week, like out of the kitchen. And she was doing like pretty consistent, like she had a couple of older kids or groups of kids or families that would come in. And so we're still trying to like unpack, is that the location? Is it because it's Dawn who's that? Like, what is the pull? But that was like, we all kind of like, oh, we were not expecting that to happen. And so sometimes you just stumble upon things that work.
Thank you all for sharing your examples. Those are some great opportunities to engage with our older youth, which can be a harder population to engage with summer meals. So thank you all so much for sharing those wonderful examples. Do we have any other questions for our panelists today before we wrap up? All right. So seeing no more questions coming in, we are going to kind of wrap up here. So I'll kind of share what's coming next. So for one, I want to send a huge thank you to all of our panelists, so Adrienne, Madison, Katie, and Mia, all for joining us today, as well as Kirsten and Finn for helping out. It was great to hear from y'all's expertise as we start heading towards summer. So I will be sending out a follow-up email tomorrow to everyone who registered. Folks will get a copy of the slide plus all of the links that we shared today. So that's all accessible to y'all. And then we will also be posting the recording of this webinar on our summer landing page. So if you have folks from neighboring schools or organizations who were unable to make it today, we'll make that to where the recording is viewable so we can hear from all of this expertise that was in the room with us today. So I want to thank you all so much for participating and for our panelists for participating. And we wish you all a great summer. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us.
Thanks for having me. Have a great day, guys.
Thank you.